very good day to Dr. Isa. My name is Lonjen, BG191100406. I am from HG19 and I am from Group S. The title for this survey is about the young consumer and ethnocentrism in Malaysia. This survey divided into 5 sections: Section A, Section B, Section C, Section D, and Demography. For Section A is about the consumer affinity toward this own country. Section B is consumer ethnocentrism toward Malaysia. Section C is about consumer trust on the product made in Malaysia. Section D is about the consumer willingness to buy Malaysia product. In part A, young consumer ethnocentrism, there are 4 questions has been asked in this survey. First is, I have a feeling of sympathy toward this country. Based on this analysis, mostly of the respondents, which is 44.9%, agree, while there are only 0.8% respondents strongly disagree with this statement. The mean for this question is 3.9. Second is, I am captivated by this country. The highest percentage is 49.2 respondents agree this statement, and lowest is 2.5% respondents strongly disagree this statement, and the means for this question is 3.83. Third is, I love this country. 52.5% respondents strongly agree, while 1.7% respondents strongly disagree this statement. The mean for this question is 4.36. Fourth, I feel attached to this country. 39 of respondents agree, well 1.7% respondents strongly disagree. The mean for this question is 4.11.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is SAPRANG bin JAMADIN. For consumer ethnocentrism towards Malaysia, there are 33.1% of the respondents agree with the statement that a real Malaysian should always buy Malaysia-made product, followed by 29.7% neither and 28% strongly agree. 8.5% of the respondents disagree and 0.8% of the respondents strongly disagree. For we should purchase product manufactured in Malaysia instead of letting other countries get rich of us. It shows that 41.5% of the respondents agree with the statement, strongly agree with 26.3%, followed by 22.9% neither with the statement. 7.6% of the respondents disagree and 0.8% of the respondents strongly disagree. For there should be very little trading of purchasing of goods from other countries unless out of necessity. There are 44.1% of the respondents agree with the statement, followed by 20.3% neither and strongly agree with it. 13.6% of the respondents disagree and 1.7% of the respondents strongly disagree. For Malaysia, consumers who purchase products made in other countries are responsible for putting their fellow Malaysians out of work, Chinese out of work. It shows that 33.1% of the respondents agree with the statement. 29.7% are neither, followed by 14.4% strongly agree with the statement. There are 14.7% of the respondents disagree and 10.2% of the respondents is strongly disagree with it. That's all.
Hello, my name is DIANE Victor, and for our data analysis of Section C, which is C1 statement, products made in this country are likely to be quite reliable. So, based on our analysis, there are 52.5% of the respondents agrees with this statement. 24.6% chose neither. 18.6% chose strongly agree. 2.5% disagree with this statement. And lastly, 1.7% strongly disagree with the statement. So overall of the C1 statement, most of the respondent agrees with the statement, which results in the mean of 3.84. So for the C2 statement, which is products made in this country can be trusted at times, 51.7% of the respondents agrees with the statement, 22.9% chose neither, 20.3% strongly agree with the statement, 4.2% disagrees with the statement, and lastly, 0.8% strongly disagree with the statement. This also shows that most of the respondents agree with the statement, which results in the mean of 3.86. And next is the C3 statement, which is products made in this country always meet my expectations. There are 39.8% of the respondents agree with the statement, 33.9% chose neither, 14.4% chose strongly agree, and 11% chose disagree, and lastly 0.8% strongly disagree with the statement, which results in the mean of 3.56, which shows that most of the respondents also agrees with the statement. Next is the C4 statement, which is I can always trust products made in this country to be good. There are 47.5% that agrees with the statement, 28.8% chose neither, 20.3% strongly agrees, 2.5% disagrees, and lastly, 0.8% strongly disagree with the statement. Overall, most of the respondents agrees with the statement, which reached the mean of 3.84. Next is the section D, which is D1 statement. I would feel guilty if I don't buy products made in this country. For this statement, 36.4% of the respondents chose neither, followed by 30.5% chose agree, 18.6% disagree, 8.5% strongly agree, and lastly, 5.9% strongly disagree with the statement. This shows that most of the respondents chose neither for this statement, and the mean is 3.17. Next is the D2 statement. Whenever possible, I avoid buying products made in other countries. The data shows that 35.6% chose neither, 32.2% agrees with the statement, 20.3% disagree, 7.6% strongly agree, and lastly, 4.2% strongly disagree with the statement. And overall of this statement, most of the respondents chose neither, which results in the mean of 3.19. And for the D3 statement, which is whenever available, I would prefer to buy products made in this country. The highest percent, which is 50.8% of the respondents, agrees with the statement. 29.7% chose neither, 14.4% strongly agree, 3.4% disagree, and lastly, 1.7% strongly disagree with the statement. The data shows that most of the respondents agree with the statement, which results in the mean of 3.73. For the demographic section, most of the respondents are female with 78%, and also males with 22%. The range of age of the respondents are mostly from 18 to 21 years old with 78%. Respondents with 22 to 24 years old results in 13.6%. Respondents of 25 to 27 years old results in 4.2%. And lastly, 28 to 30 years old respondents results in 4.2%. Thank you.
Next is resident. From this data analysis, we can know that the higher percentage is 39%, which is present by Sabah. They have three lowest percentage is 1.6, 1.7, which is Kelantan, Pahang, and Kuala Lumpur. Kedah and Selangor have the same percentage, which is 11. 13.6% is from Melaka, 5.9% is from Penang, 4.2% is from Johor and Sarawak, 3.4% from Negeri Sembilan, and 2.5% is from Perak. Last is family income. The family income in this survey divide into three categories, which is B40, M40, and T20. B40 consists of part which is B1, B2, B3, and B4. 39% of the respondent is from B1, 16.1% of this respondent is from B2, 7.6% of respondent is from B3, 11.9% of respondent is from B4. For M40 also consists of part which is M1, M2, M3, and M4. 7.6% of respondent is from M1, 8.5% of respondent is from M2, 5.9% of respondent is from M3, 2.9% of respondent is from M4, while there only have 0.8% respondent in T1.
Hello doctor, my name is HASANAL bin MOHD FAIZAL. Assalamualaikum, and in this video I will present the finding of the group S. The result of this study used data collection from several respondents, which is 118 people who represent consumers' views on local and foreign goods. The result of the study found that the most of the respondents choose agree to all option. For example, in section A, the average answer is agree, and in all graph also show that option agreeing is the highest. This show that Malaysians have a sense of sympathies for the economic countries. In section B, it shows that the agreeing option is also the highest. This is because they still choose their own country goods over foreign countries. Besides that, in the section C, the question regarding local products are still well evaluated by consumer. The graph shows from the data taken, consumers agree that the quality local goods is reasonable, reliable, and meet quality standard comparable to foreign countries. Meanwhile, in section D, also show that that choice of agreeing answer is the highest. This is show that consumer still have feeling of sympathy for local good. This finding found that most respondents still support local goods. They also have a positive view of the local goods with the aim of improving the economics on countries. Thank you. That's all for the finding part.